Let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE. That did not get such a great handover from the Asian markets. This is amid an underwhelming response to China's 10 trillion yuan stimulus package that was announced last week. Also did get inflation print for October in China. They're surprising to the downside. So looking at how that has filtered through to the JSE, the all share is down more than 4%. The resources at 10 complexes carrying the bulk of those losses, nosediving by more than 2.5%. Financial 15, they're giving up almost 0.1%. But backing that trend is the industrial 25, advancing almost 0.4%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the market stateside. Quite a lot that markets are digesting there on that front. Of course, still digesting Donald Trump's election win and also the Fed's lowering of interest rates last week. Markets will also be combing through the latest US GDP print and inflation data. Quite a mixed picture that we have over there, but seeing that the S&P 500 and the Dow have increased the highs that we saw last week. The S&P 500 up almost 0.1% and the Dow advancing there almost 1%. But with some pressure there is the Nasdaq by 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the markets across the Atlantic, and we are also awaiting the latest GDP data coming out of the UK this week as well. Seeing a sea of green on that front, the FTSE 100 with a gain of more than 0.75%, the CAC 40 climbing almost 1.5%, and so is the DAX. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Major weakness coming through to the rand, pretty painful as it is knocking on that 18 rand level against the US dollar, weakening about almost 2.5% against the US dollar today. Against the pound at 22 rand 10 cents, and against the euro at 19 rand 12. Let's take a look at what is happening with the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.06, pound dollar at 1.28, and the yen just below 153.54 against the US dollar.